50.
Alright guys, as you can see, I cleaned up my area. After cleaning up my area, guys, I also clean up everything that's supposed to go on it. And guys, you gotta pay attention to these little things. When you're putting these things on, you gotta pay attention, because both sides are smooth. Both sides are smooth. And some people said it doesn't really matter how you put it on, whether you put it on this way or you put it on this way. But for me, I like to put the more rougher side onto the block itself than doing it this way, because I feel like if I put it on this way, it has too much slide in that way. So I'd rather put it on this way, and this way it gives me a little bit more grip. That's what I'm saying. So when you're putting on your gasket, you pay attention to how you put your gaskets on. Alright, and how I like to start putting on my gasket, because if my engine wasn't out and my engine was attached to my vehicle and I'm underneath it putting it on, this is how I would put my engine on. This is how I would put it on. I would put this like this and use one screw to hold it up like that, and then I use another screw at this end if I'm underneath the vehicle and I'm working by myself. And these bolts for your torque converter, they're 25 to 30 foot-pounds. Alright, so you don't want to over torque them, because a lot of people just keep tightening and tightening and tightening until they can't tighten no more. And when you torque these things, they're supposed to still have a little bit of turn, tighten or loosen, you know, clockwise or counterclockwise. It's not supposed to be tight that, you know, the next time, because these things over a period of time, they tend to get tight, and the tighter you put these screws is the tighter they become. And when you're trying to take your catalytic converter off the next time, what's gonna happen is that these bolt is gonna break down into your engine block, and then now you're gonna have to buy a special tool to cut these off, heat them, cut them off, or cut them out, depends on how it breaks it off in it. And then, you know, you have to drill them out and redo the holes again. So now that I have my catalytic converter all cleaned up and nice, I got most of the rust. I'm not worrying about it, because once they start to get hot, and reaches this temperature and stuff like that, you know, the rust is gonna go away and it's gonna get dark. So you're not worrying about that. Just try to get some of the rust off. And all these connectors and stuff had water in them, so I'm gonna have to blow them out, use my ear gun and blow them out so there's no water down in my connectors in here. That would short circuit my catalytic converter, because like I said, man, these things are very expensive. They're not cheap. They're very, very expensive. So this is how I put my catalytic converter on, guys. Once I get that into that groove right here, you see that groove that I put it in right here, then I could take this screw out and I could line it up right here. And once I lined it up, I'm okay. And remember, guys, these are 25 to 30 foot-pounds, so you don't want to over tighten them, you know. And your bolts, all your bolts, they are number 10. They're all number 10s. So if you lose a screw, and these are torque heads, these are not regular heads, guys, these are torque heads, so you have to use a special torque screw for them. Right now I got my regular number 10, but I'm gonna search for my torque head because I don't want to thread these out, because these are very important. You could use a regular 10, like I have a regular 10 here. I have a regular 10 here, but this is not just the regular 10, this is a torque head. But I also have the special torque head tools for these. And this is one of the set that comes with it. I got them number 4, number 6, number 8, number 9, 10, 12. I think it went up to 12 or 14, something like that. Man, I do, because I have my adapter, so I always leave my adapter and my 1/2 inch. I step down from a 1/2 inch to a 3/4, but I leave it on there just in case. And you don't want to tighten before you get the rest of them tightened up. And make sure they all tighten in the right groove before you start putting them. I happen now that they get into a point where this can't handle it no more. So guys, I'm trying to use this little Craftsman because when I use the Craftsman give me a leverage because it doesn't over tighten them. Whenever time it reaches it tightening peak, it stops by itself, which this one will over tighten it if you don't know what you're doing. That's why I like to use my Craftsman for these little screws. It doesn't require like over 50 or anything, any torque that much. Anything on the system I like to use. But no, those doesn't want to go because these screws has been sitting for a very long time, and even though I put them in diesel fuel, if diesel fuel didn't help that much, so I use my big boy. Like I said, guys, you gotta be a real professional when you're using this to tighten up your screws. You don't want to over tighten them, so you gotta be very careful when you use these power tools to do these type of things. You see what I'm saying, guys? Pay attention, because see what I did, I left my little screws. These are my little screws that I leave on top of here, because these little screws might look simple, but they're very hard to find if you misplace them. And these are what put back your heat cap back onto your catalytic converter. So I'm missing one screw out of this, guys. That's why I always tell you, put up your screws, never throw away your screws, because they might come in handy one day. So I'm gonna have to take one of these. So I took one of these from a front catalytic converter, but I have more of these. I so much of these, and you could find a number 10 in these that's not torque head, but I don't like to use bolts that doesn't come with it. I recommend they recommend it recommend, like, let me show you this. You see that's a torque head right here, guys. That's a torque head. That's not a regular screw head, that's a torque head, and it's a number 10, and it's a special number 10 it's a special number 10 socket that you have to use, and these are the special types. Like I said, I bought the whole set, and it comes with from the smallest one to the biggest one, and the biggest one, I think it goes up to number 12 or number 14. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna torque them down to 25 to 30 foot-pounds. Guys, so I should have an extension, and I should be using my extension. I have a special type of extension that the swivel type, right? Find the right one, which is a little short one, and I used it this morning, but like I said, right now my head is not where it needs to be, and I forget where I put things sometimes. But I have the little short one that has the swivel head, not the straight head like this, but the swivel head, and I want to make sure I do it right, so I'm gonna go find it. Okay guys, I mean, I didn't really find the right one that I was looking for. It has a swivel head that you could always, you could like bend it, you know, up down like a 360. This one it's the same short one like this, guys. It's the same short adapter like this, but right in here it swivels. Right here it swivels, and it has that play that you can get into certain spot that I mean, I could get into the spot with this, but then I'd have to stoop, get down, and then I wouldn't know how much I'm torquing, because I can use my regular one and get down like into these little area here, little short one, and get down. I could find a little short 10 millimeter that I can get down into here, because these two right here are the ones that's really hard. These ones are easy. It's the ones that connected here, that's the ones that hard. The one on the inside here and the one over here, guys, that's the one that's hard to get to. This one right here, this one is easy. That's two end ones are easy, and the two middle ones that connect here is easy. But the ones that go out to the outer foot, that's the one that you have to get a short. You have to get a short one, and you don't want to over torque them, or you don't want to under torque them. But that's how you get it done. And you don't put back your engine, guys. When you dealing with big engines like these, you wanna deal with the back before you deal with the front. I know you wanna see the engine goes in and everything like that, but you wanna make sure that you know, you deal with the back. Everything that need to be back and go back, and the back goes back on here. All right. Tight enough, guys. Tight enough for me. Thank you guys for staying with me, man. Thank you guys for keeping me company. I really do appreciate. I couldn't have done this without you. I would have probably got the engine right now. I'm telling you, guys, I could have gotten the engine right now, and I could have just left it here. Yeah, I could have just left it here and said, you know, I'll deal with that tomorrow. But, you know, why deal with something tomorrow when you can deal with it today? Yeah, guys, this is what I was telling you. You see these little wrench, guys? These little wrench that you take for granted? These little wrench comes in handy, because right now I have, on one side, I have the 3/8 on one side, and 5/16 on one side. But these are like these are for torque heads also. So, you know, I use this for these little parts, and like I said, I don't like to leave things. Let me show you guys. You see that? It's a perfect fit, and I don't like to leave things, even though I torque these and I know that these are torque, but I'm not too sure about the inside one. So I like to go back and make sure that they're properly tightened the way I want them to be tightened, guys. Like, you see, it's a perfect fit for them, and I don't like to over torque, and I don't like to under torque, but I like to go back and double check to make sure, because like I said, it's a heavy engine, and once I lift this engine up and put it in, this engine is, I want this engine to run, and I don't want to missing a screw. I don't want one screw over tightened or under tightened, but I rather to under tighten a screw than over tighten it, because if I over tighten it, it's going to be hard for me to pull it, especially when the engine is up and in and everything is intact. It's hard to pull. So I rather under tighten it, that if it needs a little bit more tightening, I can go back and retighten it. I don't like to have to, if it's too tight, and you know, to under tighten it back. I don't like that. So now that I got that on there, guys, I want to quit for the day, but I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do this. I'm gonna lift it up, because I have to lift this up in order for me to put the torque converter back in, and I'm gonna show you how I do that. I can use my cherry picker to lift it up, but I don't want to use my cherry picker just yet. I want to use my cherry picker when I'm putting the engine in and lifting it up, so I can put it back on the engine mount and the transmission mount and all of that. But I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna put this back on, and what I'm gonna have to do to get it to work.